Hey everybody, I just want to do a quick update on where I'm at with my parawinging journey because I had a decision to make where I said that I was starting to max out my 2.3 ka'a and I was trying to decide about ordering the next size down. And before I did that and just jumped in, just started throwing more money at the problem, I wanted to kind of recalibrate my brain and really think about what the consequences were going to be of going down a size, as well as like what my overall goals with the pairwing are going to be. And my direction is changing a little bit because of that. So number one, when it's when I started the pairwinging, I only wanted to do it because I wanted to do it when I couldn't wing. I have really good wings, and when it starts getting to insane winds and it's hard to go upwind on a wing, that's really what I was looking for. However, the flip side of that being, and something that I didn't consider, is that when it's at the most extremes, the foil that I want to ride and will have the most fun on is the Silk 650. So while I was learning to parawing, I was using, the Silk 1050 and the Ultra 750. But then when I would go out and I would wing in those conditions and I would think about, okay, this is the right foil to use, being the 650, I failed to realize or failed to consider the fact that, when I flag out with a wing on the Silk 650, it's hard for me to link swell for a very long period of time. I would say, I probably am kind of consistently 2 to 3 minutes. That's how long I stay out without power on the 650 before I make a turn and I go to a location that I need a little boost. That means that with the pairwing, I would have to be redeploying it over and over again. And one of the things that I struggled with was managing it in extreme winds. So to use the Silk 650 and to think like, okay, that's going to be fun in 40 knots, I don't know that that's actually the right fit for my personal skill set. I'm going to try to up my game and try to get better on the Silk 650. My personal best right now is about 5 minutes without a wing assist on that foil. And if I can get to 10 minutes, then I think consistently, like closer to 10 minutes, I think that the parawing might make sense. So the other option would be to just ride my Ultra 750, which is super fast, super high aspect. But the downside of that is that when the swell is huge, I don't want to ride that foil. I want to ride a big wave surf foil. I want to make the best turns on every single turn. So I don't think I'm going to go down the road of doing the smaller pairwing at this point. On the flip side, I think I might go bigger, which is really odd for me to say. I think that going up towards a 3 meter and using the Ultra 750 on days when it's little bumps, when the surfing is not that great, but you're really swell riding, I think that might be more applicable for what I would be successful with and have fun with on the pairwing. And some of the 3 meters, I seem to hear good reports of the 3 meters out there still not being too big, still being fun. So that's the direction I'm headed. Now, with that, I wanted to once again like take a step back and think to myself, okay, started at 2.3, learned all the basics, had some fun. The brilliance of the parawing is there. If you're going to go straight downwind, totally works. Good to go. However, justified why I'm not going to go to 1.7, but what happens if I go to 3? If I go to 3, now the locations that I'm going to ride because of the wind speeds that are available is going to change. With the 2.3 and 1.7, I would have been at very specific locations, whereas with the 3, I can go to a lot more locations. And with that, the water start is going to change a little bit. So at 2.3, I always knew there would be huge swell to chip in on. And the way I was doing my water start was very specific. Now, with the 3, there's not necessarily going to be big swell to chip in on. So I'm going to have to change my water start. And I don't know if that means that like the actual low end going from the 2.3 with a chip in might level out and be kind of close. Like 2.3 with a chip in versus 3 with a traditional start. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if I do grab a 3 and where it balances out at. But then with that, I also, if I'm going to do a 3 meter, I am not gonna do car shuttles. There's no way. Like I have a rule that when I go foiling, I have to spend more time on foil than I do rigging and in vehicles. Socializing on the beach, you can spend as much time socializing on the beach as you want, hang out with your friends, all that, but I have this rule that my drive time and my rigging time has to be less than my foil time. And so majority of the time, I start out with a 2-hour round trip drive. So right off the bat, I have to spend 2 hours on foil in order to have a balanced day. So if I have to do a 2-hour drive, plus I have to do car shuttles, I'm just not gonna do it. So the parawing has to go upwind. It has to go upwind at least as good as a wing and preferably better. So I'm trying to like plug that into my brain. But now what I'm hoping is that I will find a parawing that goes upwind really well that I can use with the Silk 850 when the bumps are kind of good, or I can use with the Silk 1050 or 750 when the bumps are kind of small. And that's going to be the next stage for me. One question that I did ask myself is, should I just buy a new foil? Just kind of spin this back to the 2.3 and the 1.7. I could have bought a new foil to go in those original conditions, but I also didn't want to chase that. I didn't want to buy another foil just to specifically go downwind with a parawing on. That seemed like I was going to start chasing my tail, and all of a sudden it was going to be like, oh, well, I got a parawing, which isn't that expensive, but then I had to get another foil, and then I needed another board, and then I needed this, and this. So anyways, that's where I'm at, trying to recalibrate my brain for what I should expect from a parawing and what I can do to make the most fun out of them. So that's it. That's where I'm at right now. If I do grab another one, I'm looking at a couple in the 3-meter size range. If I grab one and embark on that part of the journey, I will let you all know.